Levels, levels.
Levels, levels.
Are we good?
Nothing's moving. 4 years ago, this would have freaked us out. We would have spent an hour rebooting and trying all of this. Here, it's like, let's see what happens.
So did you see that this week was Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary show?
I did. I mean, 50 years. That's pretty impressive.
It got me thinking.
Me too. Like, why don't we book Adam Sandler for this show?
No. I mean, I wonder what our 50-year anniversary show is going to look like.
Okay. Well, we're both past 50, so I think we missed doing that show.
No, this show.
Wait, 50 years of this show?
Yeah, I think we would do a retrospective of all of the hilarious bits we've done.
Okay, but what would we do for the other 55 minutes of that hour-long show?
Hi, toddlers. Welcome to Talking to Todd, a weekly podcast with Dwayne Johnson and Todd Prinz, where failure is always an option. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Todd.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, once you've played Food Truck Drag Race, what is there after that?
It's mostly just bad skits after update.
Maybe it was the retrospective and all of the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary stuff that prompted this, but I started rewatching Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
Okay. All right. Did they do any funnier stuff than Saturday Night Live?
Will be the very model of a modern network TV show. We hope you do not mind that our producer got caught doing blow.
Uh-huh. That one's a little too close to home for Sorkin things. Anyway.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. Although, according to levels, I might be flatlining, but I'm pretty sure that's just my audio. So I'm pretty good. How about you?
It's cold here. Today it was high of 3. Left the house. Bundled up, left the house, went to Costco because things had to be done.
Things have to be done.
That's right.
Have to be done. Yep. Good news. I mean, you're not in a cold place like Minnesota.
That's right. Because, so feedback, follow-up, and updates. I got a text from Sarah. Sarah Judson Brown, toddler, -18. Dangerously cold wind chills as low as 43 below zero. I may need to update my toddler name. Wind chill -43. Oh, wind chill. How you doing? Maybe she's just toddler wind chill.
I mean, at that point, the good news is probably she doesn't even have to worry about the milk spilling in her car because it will literally freeze on the way out of the bottle. So it'll just look like Niagara Falls in the winter.
But it's getting warmer. It's gonna be warm soon.
And everybody will rejoice.
Yes. Yeah, it's gonna get to 25 and everybody's gonna be running around in shorts and t-shirts. You get used to it.
It'll look like you guys in Florida.
Yes. Yes. Speaking of Florida, there was never mind. I'll get to that later. I'll get to that. Oh my God. Okay. So we got Amy had 2. Toddler number 1 had 2 pieces of feedback.
Okay.
1, you need to work on your lighting or your makeup. Because on that episode with Hannah, you were really washed out. Like so much light on your face. You really need help, man. You need help. She was also listening to Talking to Todd this morning. She texts me and Greg. Listening to Talking to Todd this morning. Me. Why doesn't Greg have a toddler number? Now I'm on a mission. Greg, I think it's 12, but I could be misremembering as usual. Hold on, checking the show notes here. It's toddler number 17, but I'll be damned if I can remember why.
That covers most of the content in our show at this point. I don't know. We gave him a number for some reason. Yeah.
Well, it may have been early enough that we were looking to build our toddler numbers like the Ames newspaper delivery trucks.
We gave him a higher one.
We gave him a higher number to feel like we had more listeners than we might actually have.
Yeah.
Let's see. From Danny, are all refs smartasses, or is that just you? Depends on how long they've been reffing and how cynical they are.
Or if they work for the NBA.
Well.
And most of Major League Baseball.
And then, my God, $1 a day for every person. Guys, I'm Team Amy. I haven't bought a lottery ticket in like 5 years. What was this about? Was this a Dwayne Guess a Number?
Yeah, it was how much money is spent on lottery tickets in 2022. And then average amount of money that was spent. I believe it's Massachusetts that the average person spends $1,200 a year on lottery. The average person, $1,200 a year on lottery tickets.
My God. Yes.
Yeah. I believe that's what it was in reference to. And I think the $1 a day works out to the amount of money was basically, I think it's basically $1 per person in the United States every day was what gets you to the number. So yeah.
Danny also went 8 for the second biggest Taylor Swift fan we know, I guess.
Yes.
Hannah won round 1. He went 8 for 10. Overall, he went 12 for 15. Hannah wins. And the Christmas tree farm round was his favorite. Oh my God.
I kind of feel like I was channeling Red Green there, right? Which is, well, if you can't be right, at least be entertaining.
And last week's show art, did I send you last week's show art?
I don't remember if you did or not.
Hannah was in the car with us.
Okay.
The picture of Hannah that I used to put her in the car with us.
Yes.
Was actually taken at a Christmas tree farm.
Yes. Okay. Still think it's a candle. Okay.
Spit take. Damn it. Let's see. Doug thinks that my bubble shafted driver, he's apparently behind a little bit. My bubble shafted driver is a collector's item, and I could be getting a whole lot of money for that. Also, a good carpenter never blames his tools. So there you go. Oh. And from Josh the Dino Toddler.
Yes.
So he used some transcription and some AI voice generation and some mixing and tweaking in Audacity. And he created an alternative version of the Todd Oughta Know theme that we will play later in the show when it comes time for Todd Oughta Know. But Josh the Dino Toddler, introduced himself because I have never met Josh. Here's the thing. Surely I have met Josh.
We all lived in Iowa Falls at the same time.
At the same time. I can't imagine that
So for everybody out there, Josh is my cousin and did live in Iowa Falls for a period of time. So I'm assuming you had to have met him at some point, but it was probably quite a while ago.
Yes, because he introduced himself as FYI, I'm one of Todd's Aunt Sue's 2 sons. Aunt Sue famously rode with us on Ragbri.
Yes.
And that puts me square in talking to Todd's target audience.
This is scary, by the way. This is scary.
For 4 reasons. Number 1, he grew up in Iowa Falls, moved to Ames when I was 12. Number 2, related to one of the hosts.
That is important.
It's not essential, but it is, yes. This is kind of a Venn diagram. Any of these, if multiple overlap, yep. Number 3, leans left politically. And number 4, enjoys musicals. We just saw Shucked in Madison, Wisconsin. Highly recommend it. Many dad jokes. Boom.
Have you ever noticed if you fit into these 4 categories, you might be a toddler?
In so many ways. Oh, thanks, Josh.
Yeah, thanks, Josh.
We're looking forward to...
I am both looking forward to and not looking forward to Todd I Don't Know this week. Which, by the way, if anybody's tracking, the entire episode last week, by the way, thanks, Josh, because the entire episode last week was 28, 36 minutes of Todd I Don't Know. Then we get to planning this week's show. Yes, we plan this. And I said, hey, isn't it time for Dwayne Guess a Number? And Dwayne says, but Josh sent us the new theme. And I said, well, I guess it's Todd I Don't Know. Also, just a little behind the scenes. By the way, Josh sent that feedback to Dwayne.
Feedback at talkingtotodd.com. No G, no space.
That gets routed to both of us. Dwayne listened to it. I just about clicked play. And then I thought, you know what? Instead of me listening to it just when it comes in, I should not listen to it until it gets played on the show. So anyway, I'm already regretting a number of decisions I have made.
One more. So also feedback that we got from last week's Hannah show.
Yep.
From Hannah. I had a few teachers come up to me and say they listened and loved the podcast. One of them said there should be a regular segment titled Hanging with Hannah. She did such a great job last week.
She did. And to be completely honest, as you were reading that feedback, my thought was a number of her teachers said they really enjoyed it. And that Todd's a little slow, isn't he? I mean, we teach 3rd graders here. And that wasn't great. Did we have any actuallys from last week?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Where are we on follow-up? Oh, we got follow-up.
I've got a little bit of stove follow-up.
Okay.
For the record, the stove still has not been delivered.
Okay.
And so I started doing a little bit of research to see if there was any place within the tri-state area that I might be able to drive to and load one of these stoves into the back of my truck and just drive it home.
Yep.
There's not. But in the list of things that this stove comes with,
okay,
hot air frying, built-in Wi-Fi. I don't know why I need Wi-Fi on my stove, but it has it. Griddle zones. Synchronized clocks and lights. I can synchronize this stove to my microwave so that when I turn on some of the lights, all of the lights come on, like the light underneath the microwave over the, right? True European convection with precise air.
I don't even know what that means.
If that's not marketing, I don't know what is.
Oh, if it's European, that means all the air blows more kind of to the left. It just kind of blows to the left. Although in recent years, they've started to see a drift towards the right. So you got to be careful about your cooking.
And there is a Fifth Element warming zone.
Bruce Willis shows up and
that's exactly where I went. I'm
yep.
like, really?
We'll warm that up for you there, pal.
And a lady wearing toilet paper and that's it? I'm like, really? Okay. But So we're still a month out. But did I tell you Amy went on to Amazon and bought a little cooktop
okay,
to sit on the counter so I can boil water again.
I think it'd be good if you put it right on the stove, right?
I actually did.
Yeah. So you got the big stove and you got the little hot plate. Just
the little, yeah.
Just thinking, I can't wait until I get true European air convection. This will be awesome.
A little bit of Super Bowl follow-up.
Yeah.
Our betting wasn't great. We went we went 1 for 6, but the Eagles more than covered.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we had a terrible day and we came out better than the Chiefs.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Last but not least out of me, I got an email from my mother-in-law. We talked about the Bears in Verona Walk in Florida. I didn't exactly run into a bear, but I saw a bear on my walk.
Yes.
Please be aware the Sorrento Lane between Eric Court and Zurigo Lane will be closed for the next hour. As bears have been sighted in the area, we currently have Florida wildlife on the scene attempting to remove the bears. In bold 16-point type, please avoid the area for the next hour. They sent it as an email. I got it 3 hours later.
Yeah. Up until 2 years ago, there was a joke to be made of all you have to do if you want to make them all harmless is just designate them all as a Bears quarterback. And don't worry, they can't hurt you at all. They're very ineffective. Hey, Rex, come here, buddy.
Yeah, that's all you got to do is hike them a football and then stand back and watch them implode. What the hell do I do with this thing? How about you? I've droned on and on and on now for I don't know how long. How about you?
So a couple of weeks ago, I think we covered in Idiots that the NFL fined Joe Mixon of the Houston Texans $25,000 for something that he didn't say.
Yes.
The letter quoted said that he said this, and it was said by a retired player on Twitter. And when the NFL heard about that he didn't say it, they changed the letter to say, well, this is actually what you said, and you're still fined $25,000, which basically what he said was, we have to make sure we don't leave it in the hands of the officials. He appealed that, and the NFL has rescinded the $25,000 fine, and the appellate officer said, well, some things can be interpreted different ways by different people. And because it wasn't a clear-cut violation, we've decided to rescind the fine. You mean the fine where you fine the guy for something he didn't say? No. That could have been misinterpreted. Jeez, I don't. Anyway. Yes, anyway, good for the NFL. They finally fixed a fine 4 weeks after levying it.
So basically what you're saying here was that they looked at the replay and came to the right conclusion?
After 4 weeks. Yes. It's about as long as it takes during a game.
Okay.
Yeah.
That feels it's totally on brand. That tracks. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's see, what else? Okay, so that's follow up. Oh, hey, so by the way, for Todd's Tech Corner, sponsored by the Taylor Center for Technology Policy, really quick.
Yep.
There's an expectation that this week Apple is going to be introducing a new phone. It's the replacement for the SE, but who knows what it's going to be called. But we think that the button is finally going away, the Touch ID button, which is still available on the SE phones.
SE. So
yes.
So if you still want a touch button, go out and buy one right now.
Potentially, yes. So anyway, new phones are probably coming. I also brought something for Dwayne's Technical Corner.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I have not started officiating. I mean, not officially. I still do that from the couch during NFL games. That's a whole. My God, I can't see what are you even looking? I mean, that's more of a hobby than a profession.
But it feels like a full-time job.
That's what Lisa says, and she's talking about herself. I got to sit here and listen to this. So, a couple of weeks ago, in the top flight of Dutch football, soccer, one of the teams substituted a player. Dwayne, how many players are you allowed to have on a soccer pitch at any given time for an individual team?
One team is 11 players.
Yes. So they held up the substitute board, and the substitute came on, and nobody came off the field, off the pitch.
Oh.
So that would be how many?
That would be 12. That would be illegal participation.
Yes. So American sports frown on that.
Yes.
Here's what ended up happening. They started the game. The other team started counting. And then went to the fourth official. They've got 12 guys. They've got 12 guys. They've got 12 guys. They played with 12 guys for 23 seconds. Okay. At which point, the team with 12 players won a throw-in near the goal they were trying to go to. Once the play was stopped, the official said, the fourth official told the main official, hold on, too many guys. They removed the guy that should have been off the pitch, awarded the throw-in to the team that had 12 players who got an advantage, who then threw the ball in and scored on the throw-in. At which point the other team, I believe in Dutch, I think the phrase is lost their ever-loving minds. They were not very happy because the other team played with 12 players, got an advantage, and nothing happened to them. They filed an official complaint, and the Dutch Football Association said, I'm not touching that. Let's look to FIFA. And anytime, let me tell you this, if you've got a problem and you reach out to FIFA, you've now got two problems. Anyway, that came down this week. That's a clear refereeing mistake that affected the outcome of the game. However, the game cannot be replayed from that point. There is no penalty or sanctions for playing with too many people. The referee it was pointed out that the other team is responsible for making sure that the number of players is correct.
They did.
And they did. Anyway, whoopsie. So guess it stands. And I thought, what are we even like? They're playing with 37 people. Well, they did score a goal, but I can't take it off because, I mean, that's...
Sorry, because you didn't catch them in time.
We did. Well, not in time. Anyway, so there you go. So the good news is you only have to count to 5.
It's true.
Yes. But Dwayne, if you were playing the game, I'm just curious, because this is why I'm bringing this here, is if you happen to, you throw the ball in, right? Or you give the ball, they throw the ball in, they're going up the court, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At that point, what do you do?
I blow my whistle and I assess a technical foul to the team that has too many players on the court. But here's the thing. We should never get to that point, because every time there's a substitution, I count to 5 and I actually count to 10. Every time. Alan and Mark and I count. Every time. In fact, playoff game we had on Monday night, timeout, blah, blah, blah. The girls come off the floor, girls come back on, and I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4. Chris, you want to put another girl out here? He's like, oh yeah, hey, that'd be a good idea. So I've known this coach for a long time. Hey, Chris, you want to? I did have one technical story to share. Player hit the floor going towards the ball, gets control of the ball, and then rolls over with the ball. Stacy and I both call a travel. And he gets up and he's not happy about it. And he says, I was pushed. And I said, well, I didn't see that. You rolled over and that's a travel. And he says to me, look at the tape. Right? And so we shot some free throws. And I went over, I reported the technical foul to the bench. And the head coach, it was a tight game. This was a game that was decided on a last second shot at the buzzer. It was exciting. It was a full gym. And the head coach, what did he say? And I said, Coach, he told me to go watch the tape. He said, oh, yeah, that'll do it. Yeah.
Well, got our money's worth on that one.
Yep.
I will say this. See, you're better than I am, because at that point, what I would have done is stopped the entire game, walked over to the scorer's table, pretended to look at a monitor, pretended to put a headset on, and then with my hands go like back and forth, like watch it, like use the thing where I'm like moving it back and forth
to back it up. Yeah.
Take the headphones off, put the monitor away, point, technical.
Dude.
You can do anything on your last day at work. By the way, you can do anything at all.
That is true.
Sometimes you know it's your last day and sometimes you don't. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think I put this off long enough. Do we have a new theme?
We do, because you know what? And I'm here.
Yes, Queen.
To remind Todd of the mess Todd made when he answered wrong. Todd oughta know.
God.
Oh my God.
Wow. What? Wow.
I mean, just, you know what? Just so the toddlers don't have to back it up. And I'm here.
Yes, Queen.
To remind Todd of the mess Todd made when he answered wrong. Todd oughta know.
I feel like I've just come from a David Byrne concert.
Josh, you are the ever-loving best. DinoToddlers getting it done. Okay, so...
Jeez. Okay.
Todd, did you see the story about the Michigan judge sentencing Walmart shoplifters to wash cars in the parking lot?
No, I did not.
Excellent. A Michigan judge is putting sponges in the hands of shoplifters, ordering them to wash cars in a Walmart parking lot. This story happened this week. Todd, several questions.
Okay.
What is going to be the charge for the car washes? If you want to get your car washed?
Well, from earlier, I believe the charge is negative 43. Okay, so wait. So they have to put on a car wash in the parking lot of a Walmart in Michigan in February, but they're going to charge money.
There will be weekend events at that Walmart location in March and April.
Okay.
And if you want to go get your car washed,
all right,
by the shoplifters serving their time,
I would say at that point, lock your doors. Okay, so, but you have to pay to have your car washed.
Actually, no, you don't. The answer is the car washes are free.
Okay, that makes more sense, because I'm like, I don't understand why. Wait, does the judge need a bigger boat? Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
Yep. So the car washes will be free.
Yep.
At the Walmart. And if you want to go and get your car washed, you can line up. Weekend events in March and April. The judge says Walmart is on board and will provide the water and the supplies. I wonder where they're going to get them.
AutoZone.
Question number 2. How many people is the judge going to sentence to be washing cars on weekend events in March and April?
I'm going to guess 15.
You want to try again?
30.
You're still off by a full Dwayne.
So now we're talking like 75 people?
75 to 100 people he'll be sentencing to wash cars at Walmart.
I guess none of them have a sentence that they have to stay away from other known criminals, because otherwise, hey, you know what would be a good idea? Let's get 100 people who've all stolen from this Walmart, put them out in the parking lot. Walmart's like, wait, I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think this is a good idea at all. Are
we open 24 hours? When are we doing this? Hey, I'm out of soap. Can somebody run inside and get? Never mind.
What do you
Nope,
need?
Nope.
What do you need? I've already got plenty. Oh god.
Hey, buddy. That's what I got. That's what I got for Todd ought to know. I thought Todd ought to know that this week.
So, if anybody, do you know which town in Michigan this is?
Genesee County District Court.
All right. If anybody needs their car washed in March or April, here's a talking to Todd tip. Head on up to the Walmart.
In Grand Blanc Township, just 50 miles north of Detroit.
There you go. That's jeez.
You're welcome.
Feels more like if you're going to sentence them to something, instead of washing cars in the parking lot, they should just be sentenced to washing the toilets in Walmart. And anyway, never mind. Let's just move on. Now,
This was originally one of my two idiots for this week, but since I needed a Todd ought to know.
And you managed to, it was good enough one that I didn't get anything right. So we'll call that a success.
I won't play the theme again. If you want to listen to the theme again, email me or back it up. Okay. What's next? Oh, the Scott Frost. It is time for the Scott Frost Memorial Idiot of the Week. What'd you bring?
So during the Super Bowl, Google, I guess, ran a number of ads extolling the virtues of Gemini, their Gemini AI platform. And of course, like any good marketer, they now release the Super Bowl ads before the Super Bowl so that everybody can see them, so that you know what to watch during the Super. Anyway, none of this makes any sense. I'm sure marketing people know what they're doing. Anyway, so one of the ads had to be edited before airing at the Super Bowl. It was for a small business, Car Valley Cheese. And the commercial showed the farmer using Google Gemini to write the information that is going on the package of the cheese.
Yeah.
What Google generated was Gouda is a Dutch cheese named after the city Gouda in the Netherlands. It is one of the most popular cheeses in the world, accounting for 50 to 60% of the world cheese consumption. And then it continues. Now, they aired this ad on social platforms. And a bunch of people went, 50 to 60% of cheese consumption. That doesn't sound right.
That doesn't sound right.
No, that's not right at all. So people started pointing that out, that number is not accurate in any way, shape, or form.
Jesus, are you kidding me?
So they edited the commercial to take that stat out, and the owner of the cheese company took it off of his website because he put that up there as well. Now, Google maintained that that stat was not a hallucination and said that Gemini is grounded in the web. So they denied the fact that 50 to 60% was a mistake. Although I think they're then blaming, I don't know. Look, Gemini read it on the internet, so it must be true. Okay. So
thanks, Junior.
So when asked about the incorrect detail, a Google spokesperson told the business owner suggested having, quote, Gemini rewrite the production description without the stat. Google then updated the UI to reflect what the business would do. Okay. Now, I believe, and I'm not totally clear, I believe the ad then ran during the Super Bowl. I may not have seen it. Apparently, it was scheduled to run. So it had an incorrect stat. They removed it. But internet sleuths then were looking at this and found a picture from Car Valley Cheese from 2020 that had the exact paragraph that Gemini generated.
Oop.
The entire point of the commercial is that the small business owner is using Gemini to create text that he is using on his website and on his packaging. Gemini was released, I believe, in 2023. People then went and said, by the way, as far back as 2020, that exact copy was on the cheese, at least on the cheese and potentially on the website 3 years prior to Gemini being created. Google, did Gemini actually write this description? What? Sorry, nope. This was all done. The person used Gemini to write this. So
to plagiarize this, Google.
The only answer that actually works is that Gemini copied the exact text that he was already using. Anyway, so this is really good. This is just like the AI is going so well. They bought a commercial that cost $8 million to air to tout their generative artificial intelligence that got the only fact in it wrong and copied everything else. $8 million to tell people you should use this. Way to go, Google. Also, it's entirely possible that the small business owner may have been in on this as well. Let's just be honest. But we're mostly going to blame Google. Wow. That's like the ads where they show the pickup truck towing like a cruise liner, like an ocean ship, and then says, "Don't do this. This didn't occur." Well, then why is it in the ad? That's the entire ad. Anyway. Yep, that's fine. How about you? And by the way, that's like the least offensive thing Google has done in the last week, so we're fine. Anyway, what did you bring?
Well, last week I tried to bring Beaver.
Yes.
And the responses that I got from the toddlers for you passing on the Beaver story.
Yeah. Not good.
No, Danny, damn it, Todd, pick the Beaver.
Think how mad all those responses. Just think how mad everybody would be if hypothetically I started to pick the Beaver story and then somebody on the other end of this recording waved me off, hypothetically speaking. Think how mad people would be at the person who waved me off. Luckily, that didn't happen, so I will take all of the blame. Anyway, let's cover this week, Beaver.
The story came from Sarah. Headline: Minnesota senator wants to make it legal to eat beavers again. So after a change in the law last year, it's now illegal to eat nuisance beaver meat in Minnesota. Nuisance beavers.
Okay.
Also, well, I'll get to that. So under state law, homeowners are allowed to trap or kill beavers that are causing damage to their property.
Okay.
But you're not allowed to poison the animals. You must notify a conservation officer if you kill a beaver, because they can be a nuisance. They can cut down trees or flood areas with dams. And, so Minnesota has a beaver trapping season that runs through the winter months. You can trap beavers. The ones that you trap, you can eat. Regulated beaver trapping season. But there are not enough trappers to keep the beaver population small enough to prevent problems. Quick, since we didn't spend near enough time. Hold on. Hey, Todd. Here's a question.
Yeah.
And I'm here,
yes, Queen,
to remind Todd of the mess Todd made when he answered wrong. Todd ought to know. Each year, how many beavers do Minnesota trappers take each year?
I'll say 5,000. Between
20 and 30,000. This
that's not enough.
And that's not enough. This feels like a Canadian tree question. So, here's the thing. Until 2024, when they changed the law, eating nuisance beavers was legal. If you trapped them on your property because they were chewing down a tree, you were able to eat them. Now, not so much. So here's the thing. If you trap them on your property and they're not chewing down a tree, you can eat them. But as soon as they've chewed down a tree, Hands off. Also, they apparently taste like beef, according to online reviews. A Minnesota senator is attempting to repeal that part of the law. I'm not sure why it's in the bill. I can tell you, says Senator Green, even though I personally don't go out and trap beavers and eat them, I have eaten them. It's pretty good, but it is a rodent, and I have a hard time getting past that. Responding to questions on how to enforce the law, Senator Hodge said that lawmakers would leave it up to residents in the honor system. It's worth noting that the ban strangely only applies to nuisance beavers. Beavers trapped otherwise are still fair game.
That, I'm going to say this. That whole thing is one of the most Minnesota things I've ever heard.
Yep.
Two is insane because this is what is being covered in the Minnesota legislature. And number three, this is what I want my politicians arguing about. By the way, who's the idiot here? I just want to there's a broad spectrum here. Who's the idiot here?
Anybody that eats a poisoned beaver.
Yeah. Jeez. I'm just thinking about the billboards you need when crossing into Minnesota explaining your rights around beavers.
Keep your stick on the ice. I'm telling you, never a dull moment in Minnesota. Let's see. What do we got?
Unless you're talking about the sensation in your fingers, very dull because it's so cold and you can't feel them. But otherwise, yeah.
WLR, watching, listening, reading. What are we watching this week?
So this week, as we pointed out in the cold open, this was Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary week. So yeah. we kind of went all in on Saturday Night Live content. They had a concert, a 3-hour concert earlier that was that Thursday, Friday? Anyway, so we watched that. And then the 50th anniversary special was live on Sunday, and we watched that. We also decided, we went back, we'd not seen this one yet. We watched the Saturday Night movie that I think you saw a while ago that's on Netflix.
Yes.
Yep. So we watched that movie.
Did you like it?
It was, yes. Lisa and I were both concerned about the portrayal of John Belushi in that film.
Yeah.
That was weird. Like that was weird. I don't know. The whole film had an interesting, I don't know. I think I might have enjoyed it a little bit more than Lisa. Again, it was like some of this may have happened over the course of weeks, or like that's right. The problem with this stuff, right? Like here's the 90 minutes before the show, and some of this you're like, at times you're really wanting to know, like, can somebody make like the true story? Because some of this is kind of interesting if it's true.
Right. And I did go looking for History versus Hollywood on that, and they haven't done it yet.
Okay. NBC also aired on Saturday night, S1E1. So, well, we watched a portion of that, and like, it's great to know that Saturday Night Live hasn't changed in 50 years. You get past update and you're like, oh, this is starting to go downhill, and I'm good. I don't need to. However, what was interesting was we got to see the portrayal of the opening sketch in the movie, and then we got to see the actual. So a whole lot of Saturday Night Live. And then just as a topper, because we've been on a bit of a Operation Mincemeat music binge in the house, and we're going to be seeing it again in about 30 days on the West End, I said, what we should do is we should go back and watch the Operation Mincemeat movie on Netflix. Not nearly as many songs, I got to be honest. We saw it when it came out. We watched it again and went, both the movie and the musical are based off of the same source material, and they kind of go in different directions with it. So, yeah.
This week we watched the the Department of Ungentlemanly Warfare,
Okay.
which is also based on the same source material.
Oh, okay.
Henry Cavill and a whole bunch of people. Amy watched it. I registered present. We also watched The Gorge, which is
on Apple TV, right?
on Apple TV Plus, on Apple TV, on Apple TV.
Yeah.
That's Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, we just saw the preview or the ad for that.
We had to watch it with the volume on like 50 because it is really soft until it's not.
Oh boy.
3 jump scares. Amy about came out of her recliner. We're watching The Night Agent on Netflix, season 2.
Okay.
We're about 80% done with that.
All right.
The thing that I will say there, and I like it. I'm not going to say that I don't like it. I like it. There's a lot of reading. Because
Wait, you have to do a lot of reading or they're doing a lot of reading?
No, I have to do a lot of reading because there's a lot of Farsi. There's a lot.
Okay.
I mean, a lot. So if you're trying to watch this and do something else on your phone, they're talking and you just hear them talking. And I'm like, oh, I need to be reading this because there are very important plot points conveyed in the subtitles in Farsi. Oh, okay. So anyway, you can't watch it when you're kind of tired. And then on Valentine's Day, lastly, Waitress the Musical dropped onto HBO.
Oh, okay.
The Pro Shot. And we watched that over the weekend because, again, it's in my top 5 plus 15. It's so good. It's so good. And here's the thing. There are so many things that I really, really like that have been released in the last 10 years. And it is absolutely one of them.
Okay. Wait, was that a dig? No,
I think it wasn't.
Okay.
No, that was a compliment. It's so good. If you have not seen this show, go to HBO Max and watch this show. Oh, it's so good. They did a really good job with it. Did you learn anything this week?
Yeah, so we've had our electric vehicle now for a year, coming up at the end of this month, and so we got the renewal notice from the state here in the undisclosed location, and I understand why the registration fee was larger than what we expected, partially because you don't pay any gas tax. The legislature has tacked on a additional fee that goes to the road fund. Okay, I did figure out how many miles we would have to drive. We don't drive anywhere near that. And in the process of doing that, I saw that they said, hey, by the way, you can enroll your EV in a program that once a year you send us your odometer reading, and they will charge you by the mile up to the maximum fee. So in theory, it's a win-win situation, right? So if you don't drive very much, and the car does a lot of really short trips, so we do not put on that many miles. Matter of fact, we've owned the car a year. We are less than 4,000 miles on the car in a year. So I said, yep, let's enroll. This should save us a lot of money for next year. So in order to register, you get sent a link, and you cannot upload still photos. I'm assuming that they think that people would manipulate still photos. So you click on this link. The link goes to a web page, and the web page then needs access to your smartphone's camera, and you have to use the web page to take the photos so that they know that whatever they captured gets immediately uploaded. You can't.
Okay.
Whatever. Okay.
Yep. Fair. Fine.
You have to take 2 photos. You have to take a photo of your entire dash showing the steering wheel, And then you have to take a second photo of your odometer reading so that they can see the numbers. Okay. So I'm going to go try to do this. So I get ready to take the first photo, and I realize they've done something fun with a web page. The place that you frame your footage takes up the screen. How do you take the photo? You scroll to the bottom of the page and click the button that says take photo. Now, you then don't see what you just took a photo of until it goes to the next page. That's not right. Okay, retake photo. Line it all up. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Click.
Pray.
That's not right. The second thing is that with an iPhone, most applications that use autofocus are very good at autofocusing. So you can tap, you can tap and say, put this in focus, put this in focus. This is a friggin' web page. It doesn't do that. It just focuses wherever you want. So wherever it wants. And it doesn't take much. Any slight movement, it refocuses. Well, what would be a slight movement of a phone? While you're scrolling a web page. So I took 8 or 10 photos that didn't include all the elements or were out of focus. I get the main one. Then you have to then zoom in on the odometer. In order to do this, I have to put my phone behind the steering wheel. And now I have to get my other hand behind, and I'm doing the same click. Nope.
Oh my God.
Missed the odometer reading completely. I'm too close. It won't focus this close. At one point, I couldn't get the phone to take the picture of the thing it needed because the steering wheel was in the way.
You know, banks have managed to figure this out when you're depositing a check on the front and the back.
Yes.
And this isn't rocket surgery, people.
Yeah. But whatever third-party company that the undisclosed state has used, I believe, doesn't know about any of that technology, including put the picture button with the picture. Anyway, 15 minutes later, I had 2 photos that were usable enough and have been accepted. But I kind of feel like I want to get a book called UI for Dummies and then just mail it someplace. But anyway, what about you? What'd you learn this week?
I did not know that this was going to be an all-car edition of Talking to Todd. My mother-in-law in Florida is going to take one of the 2 cars that they have down there, she has down there, and send it back to Illinois.
Okay.
And so we're like, oh, well, we know you can ship a car, right? But we don't know how much it's going to cost to ship a car. So I went on a website and put in, get a quote for shipping a car. These people are relentless. Because what I learned was there are a bunch of places that take these quotes and then they all go into a central shared database that brokers then all have access to.
Okay.
And then the brokers all do all of the quotes. And then the brokers would eventually then contract to ship the car. I could ship this car from Florida to Illinois for anywhere from $340 to $980, depending on the services provided and whether or not I wanted it to be enclosed and how many pounds I wanted to also be able to. They're typically, hey, here's a question.
Yep. Oh, no. Here, yes, queen. To remind.
How many pounds of extra weight can you put in a car when you're shipping it?
250.
Just 150 is the limit that they will allow worth of extra material. So if you think that you're just going to load your car up with stuff and ship it all up, no, sir, you are not. 150 pounds is the limit. These people will not let me go. Emails, phone calls. Luckily, I used a throwaway email address and the Talking to Todd also CPA phone number.
Al Slappa, how can I help you?
The bonus benefit to that is, every 3 months or so,
keeps the line alive.
Keeps the line alive. The music is Happy Boy by Kevin MacLeod. It is not Todd I Don't Know by Josh the Dino Toddler. So you can subscribe to our award-winning podcast with visiting scholar Todd Prinz wherever you get your pods. Just search Talkin' and the number 2. There's no G and no space. Thanks to our listeners, our sponsors, and especially our contributors. We appreciate you, and you can send your feedback or anything else you want to send us. Your feedback on this episode or any episode to feedback@talkingtotodd.com. Todd?
Ian, I'm not going to tell you. We've talked about you shipping stuff all across the country. We've talked about shipping logistics a lot more than we've ever thought. So I have 2 ideas. Number 1, see how much it'll cost UPS to ship it back and forth from Florida to Louisville a couple of times and then drop it off. I mean, that may be an option.
Could be.
The other one is, I don't think Jason Statham has been in a film for a couple of years, and apparently he's a transporter. So maybe you can just text him and see, maybe like $500-600. You don't even need to bring your gun. You just want a nice drive.
I always confuse that with the movie Trainspotting. Is that the same thing?
Not at all.
Okay.
I think there's a lot more heroin in the Trainspotting one.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we're going to have something that we're going to need to clean up next week. We'll be back. We're here. We're talking to Todd. So the solution is actually my almost brother-in-law, Todd, is just going to drive the car back from Florida to Illinois.
If he needs any entertainment, he could just start and listen to our back catalog the entire way. That ought to be payment enough.
Oh my God. He will be paying for it.